Good morning, my name is Nyla Williams, and today I'm going to be going over why I believe teachers should be paid more. The average cost of living in New Mexico is about $44,000. The average teacher will make anything from $42,000 to $50,000 according to Salary.com. Today I'm going to be comparing the cost it is to live in New Mexico and comparing it to the average salary a teacher makes in New Mexico. I will also go over how much a teacher tends to usually spend out of their own pocket to pay for supplies for their classrooms and to help kids engage more into lessons. Lastly, I will go a little bit in depth on how New Mexico uses their education budget. From our first point, we're going to be going over how much it costs to live, comparing it to how much a teacher makes. According to Albuquerque.org, the median to live with the family is about $55K. This is with the family. Remember, the highest end that I found averagely a teacher could make is about $50,000. How do you expect a teacher to support themselves and their family if they're barely making the bare minimum to support a family? And this year, as we all know, inflation has gone crazy. This year, according to usinflationcalculator.com, has gone up 7.1%. Even with that, teachers are still struggling. As you can see, the starting teacher can start anywhere from $41,000 and make anywhere up to $54,000, according to NewMexicoInDepth.com. How do you expect a teacher to live off that? It's not possible. Next, I'm going to go into how much a teacher tends to spend annually from their own money on students in their classroom. Now, 83% of the students in Albuquerque, New Mexico, come from a family that has very, very little money. They can't afford to buy supplies, notebooks, pencils, even a tissue box for their teacher. So this means that teachers have to go take their money that they barely have to go buy these kind of things to make sure that they are providing an engaging environment for their students. About 30% of teachers will spend $500 a year of their own money to go buy supplies, whereas another 17% will spend over $1,000 according to savings.com. As you can see in this table, there's also other amounts teachers usually pay, but 30% you can see that they are spending a lot of their own money. I don't know about you, but $1,000 is a few car payments for me and definitely a few grocery trips. So this year, July of 2022, teachers did receive a raise of $10,000. There's 3 different tiers for that. They went from $40,000 to $50,000, $50,000 to $60,000, and $60,000 to $70,000. The tier 3 of the teachers that are making $70,000 is very, very low compared to the teachers that are, again, only making $50,000 a year. Remember, the cost of living in New Mexico is $44,000, and that's a single person, whereas a family is $55,000. Even with that raise, you must remember inflation rate 7%. They are still using a percentage of their money every single year to buy supplies, to engage their students, and provide for lessons in their classroom. Next, I'm going to go into a little bit of the education budget New Mexico has. So their budget goes from $1.65 billion according to APS.education. So a lot of this money is spent on athletics, federal grants, food services, all great things. As you can see here in this table, it clearly spells out where everything is going and how much is going towards it. $1.65 billion is a lot of money. I do believe we can take from this budget and make sure that teachers are at least getting a livable wage. I know it sounds like a lot, but $44K isn't a lot. $50K isn't a lot, especially with inflation rates and everything going up in general. And especially the fact that they use a bunch of their money to supply their students in classrooms. Another thing, even with this high of a budget rate we have for our education, New Mexico rates very badly on a lot of things, like graduation rates, which is where at least 16,000 national, and college readiness, 5,000 national, as you can see here in this little table from usnews.com. So yes, although New Mexico does have a really big education budget, It's not showing. And maybe if we pay our teachers a little bit more, they will help engage our students. So today we went over the cost of living, which was, again, $44,000. The average teacher pay, which as of now, it's $42,000 to $50,000. How much a teacher usually spends out of their pocket, which remember, ranges from $500 to $1,000. That's at least half of teachers in New Mexico. Lastly, we went over the education budget and what I believe we can take from there to make sure we give our teachers the money they deserve. These people teach our future. We owe it to our children to make sure we pay our teachers fairly. That concludes my presentation. Thanks for listening.